Welcome again, people. I know it's number 4 that I've been trying to get people on this podcast. So thank you very much if you've actually tuned in. And I have a very special guest today, someone who I have been speaking to on Instagram and who I have just learned is an amazing influencer. And there are so many people who swear by her and her posts. Please let me introduce Anupa Mathews, F&B influencer. Hi Anupa, welcome to the show.
Hi, Harry. It's amazing to
So good.
finally speak to you on a digital forum.
Absolutely. And quick things. I'm not very sure if you've watched it, but I do this something known as a LELA podcast. So I call it LELA, and I
Right.
consider things like life experiences, learnings,
Mm-hmm.
and anything that has amazed you in your life. So hence a
Okay.
short and sweet podcast known as LELA Podcast. All right.
Okay.
So I'm very happy that you've come on in because we've been chatting for times immemorial, especially during the pandemic. I hope you remember that it was crazy.
Absolutely.
What crazy times you
Absolutely.
had. What crazy times you had. But thank you for doing this. I'll keep it very
My
short and
pleasure.
simple. I
Sure.
know that you're an extremely busy influencer, so let's keep it short and simple. First things
Thank you.
first,
Yeah.
Anupa's based out of Dubai. I know Indian origin, someone who's been hustling all the way through so many years. So tell us about yourself, your life in general.
So, Harry, what can I say? I've been here. I'm originally from Mumbai, and I came here back in 2003. I started working for an advertising agency. And then moving forward, 2005, I got married and, of course, had 2 kids as well.
Wonderful.
And so it's been a journey of, F&B marketing actually for me. And so that's how it was for me when I was working here, launching restaurants and dabbling with all things, related to restaurant launches, menus, all of these things, which was again done in the mainstream marketing days, nothing to do with the digital space. So I was very passionate about F&B marketing. And of course, moving forward, I enjoyed cooking. And even when I was young, I remember in my Mumbai days, I used to conduct cooking classes
Oh,
for,
you've been into this all your life. That means.
it's been a while. I
Oh
think
wow.
when I was 9, what happened was I saw a picture of an amazing cake, and I told my mom, please make it for me. And then my mom was like, why don't you make it? And that's how my journey started into cooking, which
Mhm.
involved cooking classes. Once, I was in college, I was conducting cooking classes. In those days, pasta and Chinese was the in thing back in 2000,
Still is, I guess. Still is, I
I
guess.
guess so, I guess so. But I know what is trending as well.
Yeah.
So, so that's how it was. I did enjoy F&B marketing a lot. I still do. And so moving forward, what happened when my younger one was born, we were hit with the autism diagnosis,
I see.
which is a huge spectrum. Okay.
Mm.
He was extremely hyper, he was non-verbal, and for us, it was, a bit of a shocker, of course.
Of course.
So, and we didn't know how to deal with this. So we went through the usual diagnosis, and then we were referred to therapists. And it was a huge journey.
Absolutely.
And so I had to take a back seat, and I had to do this in order to get him, somewhere into normalcy, right?
Correct.
So, as a parent, I always was wondering, what can I do? Because a therapist is doing something, the school is doing something, and I would meet, of course, you go to any special needs center, you'll meet other parents. And the parents also had the same question. We're not therapists. All we
Correct.
can do is do the usual way how you're trained to raise a normal child, try to adapt it. But that is not an easy task when it comes to a special needs child.
True.
And plus, for me, I really wanted my son to get into the verbal, next level
Spectrum.
because,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So he was verbal up until age, non-verbal up until age 4.5.
Okay.
And again, a lot of parental input is important to push the child into achieving that next goal, which I was really dependent on the therapist. I didn't realize that we ourselves as parents can achieve that, and that triggered me into getting into a lot of research. And research proves that if you give a child a clean diet, okay,
Correct.
that will help him in the long run. So there was a lot out there, websites upon websites and YouTube videos and everything. So I just, I thought, let me just take this at baby steps, let's do one thing at a time. So
Correct.
I started by removing every form of junk food possible at home
Wow.
because yeah, they say you should go for a gluten-free, dairy-free diet. It is not easy to completely eliminate gluten or dairy from a
Correct.
normal desi household. You have your
Absolutely.
chapatis, you have all of your maida-based items and things like that. So we did have to take that sacrifice,
Hmm.
and I had to explain to my elder daughter as well that, in order for us to make things possible, it has to
Correct.
be a joint effort. So she's been very, very helpful, and
Wow.
she hasn't complained. Even to date, she's never complained.
How
And
old was she that time? How old was she that time?
I'd say she was around 7.5. Yeah,
Wow.
when my son was 4.5, she was 7.5. That's when we decided
Wow.
to. Yeah, so there's a
A-
3.5 age difference there.
and to show that maturity, I think that's amazing. At being a 7.5 year old, I mean, amazing.
I
I
don't
I
know,
I,
maybe I
I
didn't give her much of a choice.
but
But
that's nice. They've been trained by you, so it's very nice.
yeah, so I guess because I started early,
Correct.
it helped because I do mentor a lot of parents out there who come to me, not only asking for recipe related help, but I do counsel them because a lot of them are into depression. It's not easy. There are some parents who've got 2 and 3 special needs children, which is not easy at all. Yeah, it's tough time. So again, getting into the diet factor, I eliminated sugar for my son. I eliminated all of the white flours, everything possible, every toxic thing possible, even chocolates and candy. Absolute no. And
Ouch. That's an ouch. That's a big ouch. I know,
that's
uh,
that's
yeah,
tough.
but health
That's
is
tough.
wealth. Yes, that's correct. Mm.
That's tough. But you'll be surprised, Harry. He's not really fond of cake at all. At the most, he'll touch the whipping cream or the frosting. He won't
Okay.
really jump into a cake and get excited with it.
Amazing.
No,
Amazing.
because yeah, we started out young, right?
Correct. Correct.
And and even his milk was replaced with camel milk. Camel milk has got ample amounts of benefits other than having the no casein factor. So the regular milk we all drink has got a protein element called casein, right? So
Mhm.
that doesn't do well with special needs, kind of those trigger factors. So
Correct.
I replaced it with camel milk. Again, we got that benefit of those high immunity boosting, capabilities that camel milk has. It's
All
got
right.
fantastic immunity
Mm-hmm.
boosting, high levels of calcium. So, and then instead of sugar, I slowly took steps, replace white sugar with brown sugar, then replace the brown sugar with jaggery. And
Wow.
then, yeah. See, you can't immediately jump because a child knows the taste has changed.
Right.
So you have to
Right.
be very careful how you do these things. And
Mm-hmm.
now instead of jaggery for him, he's on pure date syrup. There is nothing but date syrup in it, which is just all natural goodness. And
Wow.
again, because he's not exposed to too much sugar, we just put a very tiny quantity.
Wow.
So when I got into this, I got a lot of parents coming to me and saying, send me, WhatsApp me the recipe, email me the recipe. So I would be spending half my time putting in recipes and, putting it out to the parents, until finally I realized, what, I'll just make a blog. That's better.
Wow.
And all of my recipes are in place for whoever wants, because I did have parents who were reaching out to me for children with eczema.
Oh,
Eczema, again, dairy is a big trigger.
I
And
see.
any sort of thing which there are factors which creates these rashes for these kids and things like that. So yes, there is a lot of elimination based diet which is enforced for anything to do with allergies and stuff. So that's how
Okay.
my blog got launched.
Yeah,
And
which actually segues me into my next question. So that the
right,
experiences part. So
yes,
I'm sure maintaining and writing a blog is an experience in itself. So tell us
it is.
about it, because everyone feels that they can write, but they always have, he or she always has a writer block. But since you had
Right,
something really behind you, so
right.
tell us the experience of a blog, and also tell us the experience of those vlogs that you've been doing very recently. We'd love to know that.
Okay, all right. So my blog is actually a two-way thing, because I was also transitioning career-wise
Okay.
and getting into the digital space. Now,
Hmm.
so I upskilled into social media and Google and got my Google certification and all of that. So while doing that, I also realized if I don't understand SEO, while having my own blog
Yeah,
or a website, how would I implement
absolutely.
it? Right, right. So
Yes.
it was a two-way thing for me. So I was also under certain roles where I had to supervise people to enhance website content
Hmm.
for whatever marketing requirements the brand had and things like that. So
Correct.
again, getting into the blog, I think I've got around 90 plus recipes now.
Wow.
It was not easy, of course, because
Of
I
course.
had no clear idea. I just wanted to get everything in there. So I took all the pictures. All of the recipes are created by me,
Wow.
unless it is a traditional one which I've tweaked to my own, likes.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
So you're actually saying you shoot on your own, you click
mhm,
photographs on your own, and you
mhm.
curate content on your own. So
Yes,
who?
I do.
So what Superwoman cape are you wearing?
But I think it's also because I come from a marketing background, and I had this passion. I have done food styling for so many brands, so many
Okay.
restaurants over the
Hmm.
years.
Hmm.
I've worked with a lot of photographers, so I know a bit of the good level background of food photography, food styling, all of this. So it was pretty easy for me. I would say it wasn't too much of a challenge, but the actual challenge was getting the time to put it all into a blog.
That is correct. That is correct. That is
Yeah.
correct.
And I just use my phone. Again, I really
Mhm.
don't have, first of all, you need a professional camera. For that, you need an entire professional setup.
Correct.
I neither have the time nor the space at home for all of this. It requires a lot of effort because I do need to balance my personal life. My son takes up a lot of my time. I do give him one to one every day. I'm sitting with him, I'm doing something to help him out. So that is one of the reasons why, I really can't dedicate too much time to the blog in terms of enhancing content with beautiful visuals. So
Correct.
I used to cook. I used to just put everything together, take pictures, and then quickly download from my phone and work that way. And that's how then my Instagram got into place. And So I had a lot of these, posts coming out, food related, and brands started contacting me. You know,
Yeah,
uh,
which is actually something amazing, because for
yes.
brands to approach you, and a lot of people say that it's too easy, but how did that happen? Because that's also an experience worthwhile.
So I mean, see, I'm putting out healthy food, healthy content. So I have a mixed bunch of brands reaching out. Anything related to junk, I say, I'm sorry, I can't promote it because it's not
Absolutely
something I believe in, whether it's a fried chicken or whatever, or any junk related stuff. So
correct.
I do enjoy doing my restaurant reviews. Anything which is different, I absolutely enjoy. And I'm not really fussy about a restaurant has to be a high-end thing because I
Correct.
love going to these small places where you get the real deal food, you know?
I know.
You know what I mean.
I vibe with you 100%, because you generally find the most lip smacking food in locations which have anything under a 10 seater. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely.
Right.
I agree on that. I'm not fussy because I do enjoy discovering new places and things like that. So that's what that ball got rolling. So it was initially my blog and the launch of it, and then all of my content going out. Brands started, contacting me. Some supermarkets started contacting me. Again, anything related to F&B, I enjoy doing. And that's how it's grown as far as my Instagram is concerned. And then I did connect with amazing people. You are also one of them.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you. I'm definitely not at your level, but I try to learn from you. I can be very honest there.
but Harry, you're churning out a lot of certificates. I can see
Certifications. Yeah, yeah.
every day. Literally, I'm telling you, I think you're going to get a Guinness record just for that.
See, see, it's thanks for that, but see, I'm just trying to be. I'm trying not to be a dinosaur in a world where people want everyone running at 125 kilometers per hour. So I'm just trying to keep myself current, is what I can say.
Yeah, no, no, no. You're doing a fantastic job, and it's not easy.
Thanks.
Trust me,
It's
because
no,
uh,
it is not easy. I can tell you
it's
that.
not.
Yeah, yeah.
I did my Google certification. I did a digital marketing course. It was not
Mhm.
easy going through all of
Absolutely not.
that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Plus, when you have assessments and submissions in a week, it's not easy. Oh, it's definitely not easy. But we all
great.
somehow have this inherent thing within us to fight the odds and come out winning for some reason.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Yes.
Talking about the Instagram bit, so I'm sure there are a lot of
Hmm.
learnings, and
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure you've also been victim of. I mean, all of us have been. So
Hmm.
you've been victim of some vitriolic comments, some snarky comments. So are there learnings there, and or are
Um,
there learnings in social media per se? I just want to know that.
so initially everything was beautiful and organic in
Okay.
Instagram. Okay.
Mhm.
There were very high number of comments, and the engagement was very high,
Mhm.
and it was very natural. Unfortunately, Instagram has gone boom, and
I
you've
know.
got your reels, and Instagram is taking everything into play. You want to mimic YouTube, Instagram does that. You want to mimic TikTok, Instagram does that. You want
Yeah.
a Snapchat, Instagram. You want anything, Instagram is doing it. So there's a lot going on in Instagram which is distracting people. Then what
Correct.
happened also is the paid posts, right?
Mhm.
So we who are trying to get out that organic reach are going hand in hand with all of the paid posts. So the paid posts are obviously going to get a higher reach.
Correct.
So I realized 3 years ago, whatever organic reach I had is like less than half now, because everyone is being bombarded with video content and
Correct.
commercial content, right? So it is a little disappointing, but at the end of the day, I do have a loyal bunch of friends who are followers, or family who are followers, or friends who through Instagram we've become so close. And
Correct.
I do recommend restaurants and things, and they do go out there, they try it, they're happy, they send me pictures. And I even share it with the restaurant managers who are pretty excited. They say, yeah, yeah, of course, we remember these people came and things like that. So, yes, there is that lead gen going for the restaurants, which are very happy.
Correct.
In terms of negative comments,
And I,
I,
and
I'm,
I'll ask you
mhm,
why, and I'll ask you why I posed this question to you, because you've been
mhm,
into this for maybe 6 7 years
quite some
now,
time.
and
Yeah, yeah.
quite some time, to be honest. And if someone is starting something, suppose next month, all right,
Right.
someone's really into this, how
Mhm.
does he or she deal with the negativity? That's one. And
Mhm.
number two, everyone wants to be an influencer, but not everyone can get that sort of reach, which you have been able to organically receive. So, are there
Right.
learnings there for someone probably starting out right away? Your call.
So, as a newbie, okay, first of all, you have to understand what you want to put out there. What is the
Correct.
content? Is it lifestyle? Is it food? Is it travel?
Hmm.
So it's always good to focus on one,
Correct.
because when you put out multiple stuff, it's confusing to your audience. So I'd always say, even if it is teenager who's into junk food and desserts, that's fine.
Correct.
There is a market there for us, but
True.
don't confuse them by going and doing a car review.
I
You
know.
got it?
You're right.
So
You're right.
that will get some kind of, either your old audience is lost
Hmm.
suddenly, that you're doing a
Hmm.
car review, and then you will get a new audience. But then if your
Correct.
next reel is back to food, there's a lot of, so if what I've noticed for all of the people who've had any kind of growth is when you stick to one particular topic, you know
Right.
and
Hmm.
if it's travel, just stick with travel, anything related to travel. That
Hmm.
kind of gives you higher engagement. And for
Correct.
brands also, that's important, because you need to have an influencer who has a core focus on one particular topic. you know
Right.
if it's
Right.
fashion, just stick with fashion. you
Hmm.
know but there are, so the people who actually get backlash are the ones who are doing everything. They are
Right.
accepting every single collab. One day they are doing an unboxing video of, let's say, pharmacy based products. Next day they're doing a jewelry brand, and in the long run it doesn't work out, because they just completely lose the audience. And
Correct.
even their most organic loyal followers will get confused. So that's where backlash comes.
Hmm.
Personally speaking, to date I really haven't got any negative backlash.
Wow.
uh,
Okay.
yeah, I really haven't, because I make
So
sure.
you're the hallowed one. You're the hallowed one,
No,
is
no,
it?
I would say that. See, I'll tell you what happens on Instagram. So,
Hmm.
see, my posts are either a restaurant review, or it is
Correct.
a recipe or something I've cooked or whatever. So
Mhm.
there's nothing controversial happening.
That is right. That is right. Yeah.
It's pretty clean. But the downside to Instagram are the number of DMs you get
Oh.
from people
Uh-huh.
who want your.
I know where you're going. Yeah, yeah. I
So
know. I know.
there
That's
are
painful.
two aspects to this. One are the people who just generally want to randomly chat and waste your time. That is one. The second one now, which is cropping up, is
Uh-huh.
hackers. Hackers are all over Instagram, and people have been really attacked because you click a
Oh.
link and then you lose your account. And I have friends of mine who are also
Mhm.
fellow influencers who lost their accounts, and it's been tough. So
Wow.
this is happening
Oh
very often.
gosh. All
Yes.
right.
Yeah, so that's something, I always tell everyone, and oh, God forbid it shouldn't ever happen. Just first of all, don't randomly jump into clicking a link. Don't go around buying followers, or, getting into those things which, has that flip side where
Correct.
you get alerted by hackers and things like that. That is one downside to Instagram, which unfortunately we have no choice. We're in the digital
I know.
space,
I know.
you
There,
know.
there are there are miscreants everywhere, so we have to be wary of that. I know. That's correct.
Absolutely,
I know.
absolutely.
That's good. That's good.
So yeah.
So, I'm just curious, why always Instagram? Have you tried dabbling some other platforms also, just for a learning exercise?
So I do have my own blog
Okay.
page in Facebook,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
I do post whenever I have a new recipe. It goes into Facebook, it goes into Instagram, it even goes into Threads right now because, well,
Yeah.
one has to be on these platforms, you
I
know.
know. I see. I actually wish if there's an aggregator where you just have one app and all the other sub apps. You just put in your content, it gets posted everywhere. I wish there was an opportunity. I think something like Hootsuite or something, if I can say that.
Hootsuite and yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and Buffer is there.
Buffer also. Correct.
I use Buffer quite often actually. It's
Oh,
much
you
more
do?
user friendly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Especially when I go on vacations, it helps.
Oh, yeah. So you pre-schedule. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
well,
Perfect.
another thing is that is my career. You know,
True. True.
social media is my background, and curating content on a calendar basis is something I'm used to in any case.
Hmm.
So people do wonder, like, you know, suddenly somebody sees me somewhere and some post of mine has gone live, and they're like, "How did you do that?"
I have superpowers.
So yeah, I mean, I do tend to schedule. Of course, I don't do it all the time, but
Mhm.
definitely, if I have a weekend post which is connected to any particular brand, you
Correct.
know, which and then it's clashing with some event,
Hmm.
then Buffer has helped me big time. You know, so
So,
it's
so
it's
you,
great to have
you
apps.
you can actually be the brand ambassador of a Buffer if they're listening to you.
Well, why not? I don't
Why
mind.
not? I know, why not? If it makes your life easier, why not, right? Correct.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes, yes.
Right. I think we've come to the final leg, but I still want to know one thing.
Sure.
Um, what has left you amazed? It could be something which left you amazed in Mumbai, something which left you amazed in Dubai, or maybe you talk about the cultural mingles that have always amazed you, and then we'll close the conversation. Though I'd love to speak to you more often, but we have our time limits.
So I'll tell you something which happened when I was probably 9 years old, back in
Okay.
Mumbai.
Hmm.
We used to stay in Kolaba,
Hmm.
and you know those days as kids, you could just roam around wherever. Uh, it
This
was
is the
safe.
early 90s, right?
Yes, yes,
Hmm.
absolutely.
Okay.
So this particular event which happened in my life really
Hmm.
changed me.
Okay.
Um, as a kid, I was just, you know, fooling around, looking for something on the ground to pick up, or, you know, there would be a cat nearby, and I saw a blind man.
Okay.
He was trying to cross the road, and it's a two-way road.
Hmm.
Our community was on the other side, and I think maybe it's the first time I'm noticing, you know, and getting aware somebody has such a situation,
Hmm.
and I approached him because to me this person looked helpless, and I didn't
Helpless.
want a bus running him over. So I
Correct.
approached this gentleman and I asked him, "Would you like to cross the road?" Because he wanted to go to the bus stop. I could see that, and he said, "Yes, please," in Hindi. And
Hmm.
I held his hand. I was tiny, and I just made sure he crossed the road. And I said, "You're at the bus stop now." I didn't know
Correct.
how else I could help beyond that. And I told somebody, you know, someone came, approached us because they realized there's a kid helping this person cross the road. And, you know, I left him there. And that entire time I was thinking, oh my God, how blessed am I? You know,
Correct.
how blessed am I? It is amazing that, you know, what we have with our sight. And I was in the back of my head, I was thinking, how is this guy so brave? You know, I get scared if the lights are out at home as a kid. So
Correct.
that got me thinking, and that philosophy of helping others is something I have continued to now, to this date, and maybe that's why a lot of parents somehow approach me. Sometimes at night, 11:30 at night, that's when my kids are sleeping and the other parents' children are sleeping, and this particular lady who's calling me is just crying, and I'm trying to console her because of the situation she has because of a special needs child. So, I mean, that is one life awakening moment for me, helping somebody, which has always been a part of my life to date. I do whatever it takes to help somebody else, as much
A-
as my capacity is.
Absolutely. I think that's a good thought that you leave us with, which says that be amazed, be thankful for all that you have, and keep helping people. I think that's a great thing to say.
Yes, yes. As much as I can, as much as we can, I do that. And it has its own rewards, isn't it?
Absolutely, it has its own rewards, and what's been rewarding is speaking to you today. So thank you so much, Anupa. You have
It's
uh,
amazing.
you have cut across LELA, and you've also left us with some life lessons, which is follow your passion, be empathetic. Uh, Life gives twists and turns. You just have to be part of it, and stay happy, and things will fall into your kitty at some point in time. So thanks for
Absolutely.
this. Thanks for this.
Most welcome, Harry.
Any parting words? Because Anupa has some wisdom between her ears, and that's why. So probably some parting words.
So I've been through very tough times, and I think at the end of the day, what is important is to have a positive mindset. That has always overcome me in whatever situation. Just having that positive mindset, no matter what, every storm, every hurdle will pass. But it is just the way you handle the situation. There is a negative way of handling it, there is a positive way. But when you always take the positive approach, trust me, things work out, and you're like, okay, it's the next day and that storm is over.
Right. Hashtag peace and prosperity to you and all of
Thank you.
us. And hashtag
Thank you.
Harry hears you and hashtag Anupa keep hustling. That's what. Thanks a
Thank you so much,
ton.
Harry.
Thanks a ton. And for all that, whoever has been watching, this is Anupa who's done a brilliant job speaking to me. And I thank her once again. And we will see you soon in another episode with another amazing guest like this. Till then, take care. Bye bye.